Welcome to Craft Club for Kids. Today we're going to make and decorate a wreath. To get started, we're going to make the wreath, so you need a ruler, pencil, glue, scissors, and a green piece of paper for your wreath. You're going to move your things aside, and you want to take your green piece of paper, put it down in front of you with the long side left to right and the shorter side top to bottom. Then you're going to go from the very bottom and fold it all the way to the top, matching up your corners. You want it nice and organized and neat. And when you're done, you're going to have a skinnier rectangle. Then you're going to do the same thing, going from the bottom and pulling up to the top. You're going to match up the corners so you are getting another rectangle that is even smaller and skinnier. Once you have that, you open it up and you're going to notice a fold line. Now, from the top, your page will open. So here you can see that it opens. And at the very bottom, facing you, it's going to close. You want to keep it that way. Now you're going to grab your ruler and your pencil. You're going to line it up right where the fold line is, and you are going to trace over top. So put your pencil right down on your page, trace right over top, and now you'll have a line where the actual fold line is. You're now going to use your ruler to draw some dots. Now I'm using centimeters, but you can use inches as well. I'm lining up my 0 right at the beginning, and I'm putting a dot right on that line every 2 centimeters. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to go all the way across. If you're using inches, you can go ahead and use 1 inch. So centimeters, you're going to do every 2. Inches, you'll do every inch. So you'll put a dot on every inch, and when you're done, you'll have a whole bunch of little dots all along that line, the fold line. Now we're going to go top to bottom and draw lines. Now not the very top where it opens, but you're going to go from the middle to the bottom where it closes. So put your ruler down right from the dot and go from that middle dot all the way to the bottom. Middle dot all the way to the bottom. So you're going from each dot that you made, you're making straight lines. So here they are, nice straight lines, doing the very best that you can, and you're just going to keep going all the way to the very end. Keep going, every single dot, go straight down. If you make a mistake, erase it and try again. It's not a problem. Okay, once you have all your lines, you are ready to do some cutting on these lines. Now when you're cutting, see how you have that top and that opens, and the bottom is going to be held together. So hold the bottom together. You are going to now cut. So cut right to the line. You want to go right on that line, right to the middle. So right where the fold line is, that's where you're going to stop. So be careful to go right to the fold line and stop. You don't want to go past it. You don't want to go below it. You want to keep cutting right to the fold line and stop. And you're going to continue all the way. So just keep cutting, doing your very best. You're going to notice that there's little flaps now where all the cutting is, and that's okay. Just keep cutting. If something isn't perfectly straight, don't worry. Just keep going and fix it for the next one. Okay, keep cutting. We're almost there, almost at the end. So just keep going. When you reach the last one, then you are going to put your scissors down for a moment, and there you go. You're going to find that folded part that opened at the top, and you're going to open it up. Once you open it up, you'll notice, see, there's all the cuts in the middle, but you'll notice at the very bottom, the last flap is flat. There are no cut lines on here. With that, you're going to fold it back over, so just use the fold line and just fold it back over top. So it's going to go over half of the cut lines that you've already created. And then you're going to grab some glue, and you're going to put glue on the top of that. So just where you fold it over, you're going to put glue down on the top. I'm using a glue stick, but you can use whatever glue that you have. Once you have your glue on, this is where you are going to glue that portion to, not the little stripe, but here over to the, way over to the other side. So you want to go way over to the other part that isn't cut. So say all the way to the other side, and you're going to fold those together. See how they don't have any cut lines and they go together? So there it is. It's hard to get it, so I just flip it over and I stick my hands in and I stick my hands between the little cuts just to make sure that it glues down. Stick my hands on each side. And ta-da, there you go. It should all be sealed. And you can see with the little cuts, you'll be able to roll it. So all I'm gonna do is kind of roll one end to the other. And when you do that, you just have to kind of just put your hands in there, make it a little bit pliable so it moves. See that all of your little spaces will be able to move a little bit. It is paper, so be gentle. And now we want to seal it. So put a little bit of glue on one end, doesn't matter which end. Put a little glue on one end and you're going to roll it. So now that you've rolled it once, it's going to be easier to roll this time. You're going to roll it and you're going to stick the one end just kind of inside of the other end. So just stick it inside a little bit and hold it down. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a little overlapping, but that's okay. You want to hold that down and just rub, 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 rub because you want it to stick. If it doesn't stick, put a little bit more glue in and try again. And ta-da! There you go. You have a wreath. Okay, now's the fun part. You get to decorate. I'm going to use this red piece of paper to do my decorations, but you choose whatever you would like. I'm going to start by just cutting off a small strip. And then I'm going to take that strip of red paper, I'm going to fold it once, and then I'm going to fold it again. Once I've folded it twice, I'm going to grab my pencil, and I am going to draw a small circle. And because I have folded it over, when I cut out my circle, I am going to end up with 4. So these are going to be my little berries to decorate. Then once I've cut out my first set, I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to use the rest of that little piece of paper. I'm going to cut out some more berries, and I am going to add to my collection. So these berries will be what I'm going to use to decorate. You can continue to cut out as many berries as you need, or be creative and cut out different shapes and different sizes of different items that you would like to put on your wreath. I'm going to use my other part of my red paper and I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to draw a bow. Now I'm going to start at the fold line and loop up and around. And just before I get to the end, I'm going to go diagonally across back to the corner of my paper, come up and diagonally again 2 times. So around, diagonal, up, back diagonally, and up. And that is going to be my bow, and I'm going to cut it out. Now your bow can be whatever shape you would like. I would just recommend folding your paper in half so that whatever happens on one side, when you cut it out, that's what is going to happen on the other side of your bow. So your bow will be symmetrical. So here we go. I've cut mine out, so when I open it up, it looks exactly the same. Here we go on one side as the other. Now I want to create the circle in the middle of my bow, so I'm going to fold it back up. Take my pencil and just draw a small circle for the hole in the middle of my bow, and I'm going to cut that. Now it's pretty tricky to cut it just with the tip of my scissors, so I'm going to fold it over there. And if I fold it, I'll be able to see half of that circle, and ta-da, I will cut it out, and there we go. And we're ready to do some gluing. I'm going to take my wreath and find that portion of the wreath, remember where we connected? And that way I'm going to put my bow on top and you won't see that little connection that we created. So I'm going to put glue on the back and paste that right on top of your wreath. And then I'm going to take my tiny little circles, which are going to be my little berries, and I'm going to put them into small groups of 3. But this is where you get to be creative and do whatever you would like to make the bow look festive. Thanks for joining me on Craft Club for Kids. Be creative and have fun.